Now, from the station you count on, this is KARK 4 News with your forecast first.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bob Clausen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Dean. We've got some severe storms that are popping up all across central Arkansas late this afternoon. Of course, we're your weather authority, so we want to get you first to Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, who has the latest. Keith?
Well, thank you, Bob and Jessica. That's right. We talked about this potential yesterday. That cold front now making its way into the state. Strong to occasionally severe thunderstorms moving southward. Do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for portions of east central Newton County into west central and southwestern parts of Searcy County. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail possible as these thunderstorms move southeast at 20 miles per hour. Also, another severe thunderstorm warning for folks just east of the Conway area, eastern Faulkner County and on into west central White County, just to the north and northwest of the Ward area. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-size hail possible with those storms moving southeast at 15. And a line of thunderstorms continues to the south and west of Little Rock around Interstate 30 from the Benton area on toward Arkadelphia. In extreme south central Hot Spring County into north central parts of Clark County, the Arkadelphia area. We have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:15, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and again, quarter-size hail possible with this storm as it moves southeast at 10 miles per hour. Other thunderstorms continue to develop in the area just to the west and southwest of Little Rock. We're going to keep those rain chances in the forecast as we head through the overnight hours, tapering to just isolated showers by the time you head out for your Thursday morning commute. 76 degrees. We'll let you know when to expect the cool down behind this front in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
Cool down.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Those are two words we like to see put together and put in the forecast.
Yeah, because when you stepped outside today, as we all did, it was right into the wall of heat and humidity. That's just how it feels. The sweating, it starts, the second you walk out your door.
Yeah, and you also hear that constant hum of air conditioning units out there. Today, it certainly felt like the old Arkansas summer that we all know came back home. But KARK4's Dustin Barnes showing us who actually benefits when the mercury goes up.
As soon as the temperature goes up, we crank it up. Big time. Oh, but when our units fail us, it's a problem that makes you sweat, literally.
It gets hot and it gets sticky and it's muggy. I just can't sleep very good.
Sean Alberti says life is miserable without air. That's why these technicians from Chenal Heat and Air are down under, working in haste to get him cool.
You're the hero once you pull up, knock on the front door and fix their air conditioning unit.
Kevin Selder says this is the peak season for air conditioner outages. And as a result, he and his team work overtime to repair and install units.
A lot of the systems are not designed, to run over 100 degrees. So when you reach that mark, a lot of units, right here in central Arkansas, they struggle.
Just because these technicians work in the heat, that doesn't mean they don't get hot. Along with their tools, they bring coolers full of drinks.
And for the ones who foot the bill, the cost for comfort really doesn't have a price.
I think I paid just about what it took to get it working in the heat of the summer, whatever it took. I don't think any price would be too high, and that's probably good for them.
Because just to hear this can bring relief. In Little Rock, Dustin Barnes, KARK 4 News.
Technicians recommend that you call for a maintenance check a few times throughout the year. That can prevent your going without air when you really need it.
And it's important to stay safe as we get ready for the hottest stretch of the year so far. So just a few simple things to keep in mind. If you have to be out in the heat, stay hydrated. Avoid alcoholic or sugary drinks if you can. Also wear lightweight, light-colored, and loose-fitting clothes. And don't ever leave anyone or any living thing in a closed parked car. That includes children and pets. We have to say it because it happens every year. It's never safe, even if it's just for a minute.
A dozen Arkansas counties take a look at this now under burn bans because of the heat out there. Man, numbers doubling since yesterday. Clark, Howard, Jefferson, Sharp, and Yell counties have been added to the list today. Dry conditions across the natural state has some county judges concerned about wildfires naturally. You can find a link to the Arkansas Forestry Commission updated burn ban map and those tips to keep you safe in the heat by going to our website, arkansasmatters.com.
Breaking news just now into KARK. ExxonMobil releasing the cause of the oil spill in Mayflower earlier this year. This according to the Log Cabin Democrat. So Exxon says the manufacturer of the Pegasus pipeline is to blame for that spill. A lab report identifies the cause as original manufacturing defects in the pipeline. The manufacturer, Youngstown Sheet and Tube Company from Ohio, no longer in business. The Pegasus pipeline was first installed more than 6 decades ago. Several thousand barrels of oil spilled into the Northwood subdivision on March 29th. That's in Mayflower. The cleanup efforts continue in that area. We'll, of course, have more information, but again, original manufacturing defects now listed as the reason for that rupture in Mayflower. 2 Little Rock police officers placed on administrative leave after one of them shot an unarmed man late last night. It happened in an apartment complex in southwest Little Rock, and that's where KERK4's Drew Petrimo is tonight. Drew, one witness you spoke with said the officer was right to fire.
Well, that's right, Jessica. This woman says that the man had basically everyone out here at this complex running for cover when he pretended to have a gun in his hand, and that is when an officer opened fire. Take a look. Little Rock police say 27-year-old Anton Wilbert was arguing with his ex-wife outside an apartment off South Haven Court. Officers say they'd been told Wilbert had been showing a gun wrapped in a jean jacket before they arrived around 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Shortly after, officers say they saw Wilbert go to the trunk of a car and come out with jean material wrapped around his hand. Witnesses say they ran for cover thinking it was a gun. Officers say they did too, and one of them opened fire with several shots. Karen Harris was in a nearby apartment with her 3 kids when shots rang out.
She was like, "Mom, I think they're shooting fireworks." I was like, "No, listen, that's gunshots." So she came upstairs, and then I looked out my window and I just saw a man laying on the ground.
Wilbert was hit 2 times. He underwent surgery at UAMS today and is expected to survive. Now, after the shooting, officers searched Wilbert and the scene and realized that he didn't actually have a gun. 2 officers that were here when the shooting occurred have been placed on administrative leave while the police department conducts investigations into what happened. Of course, we will follow those investigations and let you know what turns up. For now, we're live in Southwest Arkansas. Drew Petrimo, KARK4 News.
All right, Drew, thanks. Hot Springs police searching for clues in an early morning stabbing death. Officers called to the Hot Springs Greenway, that's near Oaklawn Park and the Hot Springs Country Club, around 6:30. They found the body of a white man with stab wounds to the upper body. Investigators talked to people in that area. They collected evidence from the scene, but so far, they do not have a suspect or motive in that case.
Jefferson County deputies in Lone Star State today picking up a man connected to a murder of a Pine Bluff grandmother. Samuel Kimmons was arrested last week in Irving, Texas. Carol Baker was shot and killed in May, picking up her grandchildren from Lakeview Apartments. Investigators say a group of men entered the complex in search of someone else. When they came up empty-handed, apparently in frustration, they started shooting. Those shots hit and killed Baker. 3 other suspects have already been charged with capital murder.
Parents in one Central Arkansas community thankful their kids are safe after discovering a loaded gun in a creek. So now they're naturally asking, so where did that come from and what happens next? KERK4's Brittany Johnson has details on this, and this is pretty disturbing, Brittany.
Certainly it was very scary for this group of parents who say they thought their kids were safe playing in the backyard until yesterday when they found a hidden danger too close to home.
These Little Rock moms say a game of child's play took a troubling turn Tuesday.
They knocked on the door and they said, "Look what we found," and it was like, "It's a gun, set it down."
Their kids, ages 3 to 8 years old, stumbled upon this in the creek behind their apartments.
I don't know where it come from, but when we come out here, the gun was still loaded. And it was rusty.
And with the bullets visible in the chamber, the worst case scenario shot across their minds.
Suppose something had to happen to one of them children out here.
Wednesday, the gun is gone, sent to the state crime lab for further identification, and the kids are off to school, but not before their parents could use the discovery as a reminder. Guns are not a game.
I think they understood, it's a gun, we need to bring it to mom, but the other kids, the younger one who was actually playing with it, holding it like this, you never know if it would have went off or anything.
They're grateful it didn't, but concerned about what happened before the weapon ended up here.
You don't know who that gun to kill, and that's the bad thing. I just believe, God made these kids find this gun for a reason, took it to their parents for a reason. It's you never know. This could be like a mystery from years ago.
A firearms specialist from the state crime lab tells us that when they find guns like this outside, they approach it as if they may have been used in a crime. They do have a system that helps them process and connect the weapons to crime scenes, and they've had 71 hits since 2005 in the state. We'll have to wait on results from this one. Back to you.
More on the story of that gun to come, Brittany. Thank you very much. Garland County deputies issuing a silver alert for a man last seen on Tuesday. Authorities say 71-year-old Dan Roberson went missing from his home on Blakely Camp Road in Jessieville around 11 11 a.m. yesterday. They're concerned because he's diabetic and he does not have his medication with him. Officials say that he is 6 feet, 2 inches tall, weighs about 225 pounds. You see a photograph of him right there. He was last seen wearing a blue button-up Dickies shirt and blue jeans. Deputies say he may be traveling in a silver 2012 Chevy SK1 truck with a chrome toolbox and Arkansas license plate number 567JPY. Call the Garland County Sheriff's Department if you've seen this gentleman or if you know where he is. We are your local election headquarters. Arkansas lawmaker will announce his plans to run for Attorney General at the state capitol. Democratic State Representative Nate Steele kicked off his campaign this morning in his hometown of Nashville. Steele is the first Democrat to throw his hat into this race. He told supporters today he's not one to shy away from difficult issues.
Epidemics like methamphetamine. I've never been one to back down for a fight, and I've never forgotten who stood with me when I needed them. And I'll always stand with my legislative colleagues and my members of law enforcement as their next Attorney General, time in and time out. And I won't always do what's popular, but I guarantee I'll always do what's right.
On the Republican side, Leslie Rutledge and David Sterling will face in a primary there. Current Attorney General Dustin McDaniel is term limited.
What does it take to pick up the phone and call on a claim?
Coming up, Arkansas veterans waiting years to get the benefits they say are owed to them after serving the nation. More ahead on a story you'll see only on KARK.
And a former astronaut, feet on the ground in the capital city, encouraging students to sharpen their math and science skills and aim for the stars. Why he says those are two very important issues for their future.
And searing heat everywhere across Arkansas today. Just about every backyard thermometer hitting the century mark officially at Little Rock National Airport, our second 100-degree high temperature of the year. 77 is where we started the day. Showers and thunderstorms with a cold front now moving across the state. We'll take a look at radar and the rest of your forecast, which includes some relief from the heat, in just a few minutes.
This is KARK 4 News at 5 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, and Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.